Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Prophetic Lifestyles with Bernard Bolton, where we are making the prophetic practical, bringing the prophetic into everyday life, and where we are seeing the future now. This morning, I wanted to speak to you about praying, how praying a prophetic word is really foundation. And so I think most of us don't know how to steward a prophetic word or how to partner with the Lord to bring that word to pass. And so if you've recently gotten a prophetic word, I hope that this instruction, this prophetic instruction will help you. Um, because from my observance, and I've been walking in the prophetic now for 15 years, a very long time, and I've watched people. Most people receive it. That's a good thing. That means that you have faith that this is God speaking to you, or that the person who has prophesied to you is hearing God accurately, and so most of us receive it. Most of us are kind of passive about it. Some of us don't believe it, but most of us don't know how to actively bring a word to pass. And there are some prophetic words that you don't have to do anything but believe. Okay, and believing. Let me tell you, Jesus said that this is the work that I've come to do, and that is to believe the Father. So believing is work. Believing is hard, uh, but yet many prophetic words, the Lord just wants us to watch and wait and see Him bring it to pass. But I believe most of the prophetic words that we are receiving, it does require some action and some activity on our part. And so I believe that prayer, I believe prayer is one of those vital principles that, or one of those vital actions or activities that we have to walk in if we're going to see a prophetic word come to pass. And I think back to one of the most life-changing prophetic words that I've ever received, and this was in 2015. So we're talking now 7 years ago. And my mentor, Apostle Teresa, we were in a meeting, a Zoom meeting, and she began to prophesy. It was the word of the Lord, and I knew that that word was for me. Now there were several of us on the call, so it could have been for someone else, but I knew without a doubt that it was a word for me. And in that word, and when I spoke with her later, she confirmed that she did believe that word was for me. Now I had to act on that word. I had to start praying it. I had to start walking it out by faith. But prayer was one of the thing. It was the primary thing that I needed to do. And so as I began to pray it, and I prayed that word for maybe 4 or 5 months before I finally had a release in my spirit that the Lord was going to do it. And over the next 3 months, I saw that word come to pass. And so prayer became a part. Now, there were some other things that I had to do because there were some instructions in the prophetic word that I needed to walk out. But prayer, I believe that had I not prayed that word, I would not have seen that word come to pass like I did. All right. And so, why do we pray the prophetic word? Well, one of the Hebrew words for pray is paleo. It is paleo, Palal, paleo, and the Hebrew letters is the letter pay and the letter lamed. Pay, of course, is the air that we're in. Pay means the mouth, and pay is the era that we're in. We're in the decade of pay, but we're also in an era of pay. So this is So whenever you see a pay word, a word that starts with the Hebrew letter pay, it looks like the mouth, then that is saying that you have to exercise your mouth, praying with your mouth. Now, because I know a lot of people pray in their mind and they pray, in their heart, but it is praying with your mouth. And that is the prayer for this decade. And when we pray with our mouth, we're actually bringing that prayer into reality and into manifestation, because we're bringing it from our inner being or our mind or our heart. And by praying with the mouth, we are making that reality, because we are releasing that into the earth, and we're turning the potential into the actual. Okay, so nothing is real until it leaves your mouth. Nothing is real until it comes out of your mouth. Well, the second letter is the letter lamed, which is the letter for the heart. And so when we receive a prophetic word, we are receiving it in our hearts. We are setting it in our hearts, but then we have to bring it from the heart. Okay, because if it remains in the heart, of course that's a good place, but it's incomplete if it's only in our hearts. And so if we're just thinking, because even though thinking is a function of the mind, thinking also has a it has a link to the heart. All right. And I know a lot of people think that heart and mind is the same thing. I'm not exactly sure that it is, because I believe the mind is the instrument of our soul, whereas the heart is our inner being. All right. But when we pray that word from the heart with the mouth, then we are bringing that word to pass. We are partnering with the Lord to bring that word to pass. We are activating that word to come to pass in our life. We are making that word. We are creating a reality from that word. Please understand this. All right. And so praying with your mouth. I just don't want to say praying, even though that's the title, but praying with your mouth, communicating that word, speaking that word, declaring that word, asking the Lord. Okay, because there are some prophetic words where we need to ask the Lord to bring it to pass. But for whatever prayer function that you're in, pray. Pray it until you see it come to pass, or pray it until you get a release in your spirit that is coming to pass. And that is, of course, that's for a word of the Lord, a word of knowledge, a word of wisdom, but also a dream. Do you know that most of us are not seeing our dreams come to pass? Even after we get an interpretation of a dream, we don't see the dream come to pass because we're not praying. So prayer is an active part of bringing that prophetic word to pass in your life. All right, so I'm done today. God bless you. Listen, I'm doing a masterclass this Saturday, uh, and that will be Saturday, May the 26th at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're talking about the prophetic principles of success. And the first principle that I'm going to be discussing is prayer. So I'll be going in depth in what I've shared with you today. So I want to encourage you, join us for the class. There's a there's a link in the chat box where you can go to my website and read more about the class and register. And also, we will have a link in the description box. All right. So I hope to see you on Saturday. God bless you. Shalom.